All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our National 20-week session. I'm Adib, and I'm delighted to be a host for today's session. We are honored to have our expert trainer, Mr. Nizam, who will be sharing valuable insights on Microsoft Power Query, tips, speed up data import and cleansing. During the session, please feel free to ask questions in the chat box below. Mr. Nizam will address all the questions at the end of the session. As a reminder, please keep your microphones muted throughout the session to avoid any disruptions. Without further ado, I hand over the floor to Mr. Nizam.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Adib, for a good introduction to me. Okay, welcome to the session for today. So today we're going to talk about Microsoft Power Query, tips, speed up data import and cleansing. Okay, my name is Nizam. You can call me Nizam. Yeah, so today we see what we can do with our Power Query. I hope you all have a good idea about Power Query. Okay, first of all, I would like to inform you that Power Query, it is a tool that we use to clean up our data, to import data from multiple sources, and also we use it to help to convert our data that we get into a form or format that we need for analyzing. Okay, whatever you do in Microsoft Office or whatever type of analysis that you try to do, we always tied to this type of analysis. Okay, so this type of flow that we have. Okay, let me share my screen to show you. All right. Okay, we must everything. Go to my PowerPoint and create a new one. Okay, guys, as always, when we want to use anything, okay, even though now I'm showing you PowerPoint, don't worry, this is not about PowerPoint. Okay, as always, whatever you want to do in your analysis, okay, whatever you wanted to do, okay, there are flow in analyzing data. Okay, we call it as analysis flow. We call it as analysis flow. So when we talk about analysis flow always have this flow where we have to have a database, the first one, and then you need to have a query. Okay, and then lastly, then you can have your report. Okay, this is the flow that you need in any kind of analysis. Okay, query doesn't mean Power Query. Query can mean something else. Okay, so this query, it functions as something to separate your data based on your requirement. That's a layman term that I use. Okay, so now we talk about our Power Query. And if you ask me, Nizam, what's the main purpose of Power Query? The main purpose of Power Query is for data cleaning. That's all. We use it for data cleaning. If you ask me, can I do graph in Power Query? No, you cannot do graph in Power Query. All right. You want to do some calculation in Power Query. I also not advise you to do some calculation in your Power Query because calculation only can be done in Power Pivot. Okay, because in Power Query, the sole purpose of Power Query that we use it only for analyzing and only for cleaning up data. You want to model your data, you want to clean, you want to calculate, you want to get the value from somewhere else, you want to connect data from different tables. That's where we use Power Pivot. Okay, and if you ask me, okay, what is about this Power Query, Power Pivot, and what is Power BI? Guys, Power BI is a combination of Power Query and also Power Pivot. Okay, my advice here, this is a good advice for you if you want to learn about Power BI and you want to understand about Power BI. I always suggest to you, go to Excel first, finish your Excel course, and then you go to Power Query, then you go to Power Pivot, then you go to Power BI. Okay, so Power Query is part of Power BI, right? Because inside Power BI, inside Power Query, inside Power BI, I'm so sorry. Inside Power BI, we have Power Query and also Power Pivot. Without understanding these two tools, it is quite hard for us to use our Power BI because Power BI mainly we use it for visualizing. You want to visualize your data, then we use Power BI because inside Power BI we have Power Query and also Power Pivot. They combine and create Power Pivot. Power BI. Okay, and if now the question is, where is the Power Query? Okay, what is so good about Power Query? Because Power Query, it helps us to solve certain issue that we face when we try to analyze data, such as if you have data that came from multiple sources. Okay, let's say you are an MNC and your company works with Malaysia. You have your HQ in Malaysia, but you have other branches in Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, let's say India, China, US, and you have lots of branches, okay, all around the world. Okay, now the problem is the way we store the data. Maybe in Malaysia, maybe in here in Malaysia, we store our data in text form. Okay, maybe in Thailand, they store their data in CSV forms, and maybe in India they save it in SQL. So that's what I meant by multiple sources, not by multiple tables. But this time we talk about multiple sources. Okay, when we have multiple sources, the issue is we cannot really do our reports. Nah? We have to bring everything in one place, and then we can do the reports. Okay, now guys, so when we talk about this Power Query, the question is, where is the Power Query? Oh, before that, let me tell you a little bit of history about this Power Query, shall I? Okay, so at least you know which version you are using right now and which version that you are standing on right now. Okay, guys, if you are using Microsoft Office, okay, you are using Microsoft Office, not all Microsoft Office have Power Query inside it. Okay, let me show you this. This is we call it as query history. History. Okay, query history. All right. So first of all, the version of Office that we can see that people are using maybe Microsoft Office 2010. Oh, or maybe I saw some of the company, I think some of small company, they still use 2007, or some of them don't care whatever version they are using. Guys, you have to know what version you are using. Okay, some of them use 2010. 2010, and then they also use 2013, and some of them use 2016, and some of them use 2019, and some of them use 2021. And most of us that I saw, they are using Microsoft 365. Okay, remember, this is the Office version that we can see people are using in Malaysia here. Okay, if you are using Microsoft Office 2007, you are not able to use Power Query. Okay, if you are using Microsoft Office or Excel 2007, there is no Power Query. Okay, when you are using Microsoft Office 2010, okay, when you are using Microsoft Office 2010, basically they don't really have Power Query, but you need to install it. No, sorry, I'm so sorry. In 2010 also, you don't have Power Query. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, and now when you go to your 2013, yes, you have your Power Query. Okay, your 2010, you have your Power Query. But the thing is, you need to install your Power Query directly into your Microsoft Office 365. Okay, all right. So when you go to 2016, if you are using 2016, remember, this is the first time Microsoft tried to integrate Power Query directly into their software, which is 2016. And to be honest, to tell you, based on my experience, most of 2016, okay, most of them are not stable. Not stable in terms of handling Power Query and also Power Pivot. They are not really that stable to handle these two tools. Okay, so Microsoft come out with 2019. So now it becomes stable. So here we got Power Query, here got Power Query, and here also definitely we got that Power Query. Okay, so it depends on what version you are using right now. If you are using the latest version, which is Microsoft Office 365, definitely you will have Power Query. If you are using other than that version, you won't have Power Query. Okay, all right, so don't worry about that. So now I'm using Microsoft Office 365. Okay, and if you ask me, okay, how to check? To check your version is very simple. You just go to File here. From File, you go to Account. From Account, here's your version. Okay, this is your version. Mine is Microsoft Office 365. Okay, and this is my license. Not Shopee one. This is not a Shopee one. This is my license. Okay. So now, because I'm using Microsoft Office 365, and the best part is I always get new software for me, a new updates for me. All right. If there's new formula, I always get the formula for me. Okay. I always get the new formula. One of the newest formula here in Excel, okay, definitely you can find the name is two column and also two row. That's all. Okay, so these are some of the new formula that I have in my Microsoft Excel. Okay, enough with Microsoft Excel. So let's go back to our Power Query. In our Power Query here, if you go to data, okay, you always have to go to data. And here in this data, you see, we can import or we can get data from multiple sources. We can import data from CSV, from web, from table, even though from picture, from your recent, this one is not, okay, or from existing connectors. Okay, from picture also, yes, you may snap picture and then convert it into a data. Yes, you may do that. You may do that. Okay, and if your laptop have high definition camera, yes, definitely you can scan by using your laptop and then it can convert it into a data. But remember, data is a data. Okay, all right, data is a data. All right, nice. Okay, so Power Query. We know we can find Power Query in here. If I click in Get Data here, there are lots of sources of data that you can find. Okay, if you are using the same version with me, definitely you will have this: workbook, CSV, XML, JSON, PDF, or folder. Nice. And also you can choose from your database, from SQL, etc., etc., etc. From Azure, from Power Platform, and also from other sources such as table, web, picture, OBDC, and also from OData feed. Okay, from file here, if you look at here, we are able to import data from PDF. That means if your client send your file in PDF, you can extract that table from PDF into Power Query. Okay, but don't get too excited. What does it mean by PDF is if in your PDF, your data stored in table. Remember, if it's stored in table, not your data stored in invoice form. Okay, understand? You get what I mean? Okay, so if your data stored in invoice form, okay, so that one you cannot use your Power Query to import it. And if you ask me, what are the tools that can I use to import invoice that people send to me? Because other people, other company, different type of invoice that they have. Okay, and if you ask me, I suggest to you, you use Power Automate. Okay, because Power Automate, you can train your Power Automate to read data from pages. Okay, that we have this Power Automate and we have AI in it that it can read from different sources. Okay, good. Now, guys, but where is the Power Query? It is in Get Data here. Okay, if you go to Launch Power Query Editor, you click. If any of you is using 2016, definitely you cannot find Launch Power Query Editor. If you want to find where is your Launch Power Query Editor, you have to go to Combine Queries, and you can find it underneath a pen here. Okay, if you are using 2016. All right, so if I go to Launch Power Query Editor, so now the thing is, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in my Power Query because I haven't import anything. I haven't import anything into my Power Query. Okay, guys, here I got some data with me that I have this kind of data. Okay, for this data source, all right, I got few type of data source. You look at here, I got my CSV data source, I got my text data source, and also I got this XML data source. These are type of data that can be imported into your Power BI, into your Power Query. Remember, if you're able to import into your Power Query, that means you are able to import into your Power BI. Okay, you are able to import into your Power BI. And definitely in Power BI, you can import from more different type of data sources. Okay, nice, guys. Okay, good. So these are the data that I want to import into my Power Query, guys. Okay, let's say if I don't have anything, okay, if I don't have anything, I can import directly into my Power Query. Okay, what if I have some sets of data? Okay, what if I have a few sets of data? Okay, in here, I have a few sets of data that I have created, I think just for fun. Okay, I just created it for just for fun. Let me check here. I think this one. Okay, good. All right. So, enable, this is nothing. Okay. If you look at this data, this is a flat, not a flat data. This is just simple, a raw data that looks like this. Okay, this is a raw data that looks like this. A raw data that doesn't have any kind of analysis. That means I did not sort my data. And this data, maybe we have employee ID, their full name, their job title, their department, business unit, gender, ethnicity, age, hire date, etc. Yada, yada, yada. And if you look at this data, firstly, you have to understand this data is not formatted in table form. Remember, this is not in a table form. Okay, this is not in a table form. Even though you see there's a filter on top of here, it doesn't mean it's a table. Remember, table is a table. Okay, all right, good. Let's say I have around 1,000 only. I have around 1,000 sets of data. Okay, only 1,000 sets of data, not that much, very small numbers of data. Okay, so to import or to send this into your Power Query, there are two methods. If you send directly from your existing Excel, that means I send from here, that means your Power Query will follow your file that I'm opening right now. This is one of the method. Another method is if I'm opening a blank Excel and I import data from that table into here, that is another story. Okay, that is another story. That means that data source is not following this blank Excel. Look at here, I got two type of file. Okay, so this is the blank one. This is the data that I have that I want to import into Power Query. So these two methods, not the same, but they are quite the same. They are same, but same, but not same. Okay, something like that. Okay, so the thing is, if I import data straight from here, okay, I send data straight from this table. It is as simple as you go to data, just go to from table or range. But guys, a good practice, I always practice this, and during my class, I always advise my user, or I always advise my participant to convert this data into a table. It's a very good practice. How to convert it into a table? There is two methods. The first method, you can use your shortcut. A second method, you can go to insert. From this insert, you go to tables. Okay, if you want to use shortcut, you just type Control T. And then it will ask where you want to create your table. Just click OK. My table has header, and guys, this is your table. Why does this very important? Because when you rename this table properly, when you have this table properly, you are able to rename this table properly. Remember, when you work with Power Query, table name is super duper important. Okay, it is not as simple as, oh, I have a table, send is a table. No, we are going to do lots of analysis or lots of relationship when we have data that looks like this. Okay, guys, I have this. Okay, but now how to rename this table? This table, this blue area got name. The names came from table design here. On your left side here, there is table name. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is your table name. Okay, only if you are using Excel table. If you are not using Excel table, you won't have this. Okay, you won't have table name. Even though they have color, doesn't mean it is a table. Okay, Excel table have to have table design and have to have table names here. Always a good practice, you rename this table properly. I rename this table as database. Okay, and then just enter, but nothing happened. So now I rename this table. So this table, we call it as database. So now I want to send this into my Power Query. Just go to data, Okay, you go to data and then just go to from table or range. Remember, this is the method that I use to export my table into my Power Query inside my data source. This is my data source, and I send my data source into Power Query. First method. Okay, pump. Okay, the queries this one might be incompatible with your current version of Excel. This query about total new version of Excel, it's okay. All right, because I need to update that file. This one is that is quite old file. Guys, when you export it into Power Query, welcome to Power Query. This is your Power Query. Okay, on your right side is your query setting. On your left side is all the tables. Okay, before we start anything or importing or doing anything in your Power Query, I have a very good advice for you. Remember this. Look how serious I am. In Power Query, there is no undo. In Power Query, there is no undo. You cannot undo when you are using Power Query. Full stop. Then, okay, guys. Now, then what happened if I delete something that I can undo? Yes, you cannot undo. Yes, you cannot undo. Oh, guys, I forget to tell you. In Power Query, because I tell you, Power Query, we use it only for clean up data. That's why you cannot enter any data in here. Let's say I want to type anything in here. I cannot type in here because this is not an Excel. And you also cannot use right click to delete your row. You cannot do that because that is Excel. This is not an Excel. This is Power Query. Okay. All right. Okay. What if you made a mistake? Okay. What if you made a mistake? Then how? If you made a mistake, you can always cancel your mistakes. In Excel, you can undo, but in Power Query, you can cancel. All right. So let's see. Normally, if I want to use EEID and also full name, I only wanted to use these two columns. Okay. I only wanted to use these two columns. In Excel, if we want to use these two columns, we need to select and delete the other column. But no, in Power Query. In Power Query, you can use that method that you use in Excel, or you can use Power Query method, which is you click one, you click columns that you want. Okay, now I click column that I want. Okay, so the rest of the column I don't want. I just right click, and here we have remove columns, remove selected columns, or you can remove other column. Pump. So now it remove other columns. Save your time, because sometimes you have 16 columns and you only wanted to use number 1 or number 7 only. So you only choose number 1 and number 7. So the rest of the column, just delete it. Okay, as I tell you, there is no undo. What do I make this? What if I do this and alamak, I just remembered I need to do something. I need to add another column for me. Guys, in Power Query, you can whether delete or you can edit your action. Your actions on your right side here. You see, there's remove other column. If I click on the right side, okay, there is a gear icon or setting icon. You click there. So from here, you can choose, which part that you say you want. Let's say I want the business unit and also the gender. I click OK. So now that action will recall the column that you delete. Okay, let's say, suddenly you send this to your boss. Your boss told you, Nizam, I want to use all of the column. You don't worry. You just delete this, remove other columns. Now, the rest of the column will comes back to you. It always able to comes back to you. Yeah, and it's nice. Okay, because Power Query can accept any blanks, not like Excel. Excel always have this kind of tolerance that it can accept blanks, but in Power Query, there's no blanks. And if you have any blanks, it will replace it with null. Okay, it will replace it with null. Okay, so that's what we do. Okay, guys, that's on the right side. Let's look at the left side. On your left side, you see, there's a table one and there's a database. Do you remember? What is database? Database is the name of the table that I created just now. What is table? I don't know. But if I click tables, oh, then I have this quite similar table. But the thing is, if you look at this database and table, even though they both have similar data, but you have to remember, in database here, okay, in database here, if you look closely, when we read database, at least we know, oh, this is data about database. If I did not rename the table properly, it will show with table 1, table 2, table 3, or table 4. Imagine if you have multiple tables in here, how to import that table. So that's the issue with your Power Query if you are not using your table in your Power Query. Okay, guys, this is one of the method that we can use. Okay, I just close and I don't want to load anything in here. I just close this table. So now I'm going to show to you the second method that I'm going to use. Okay, the second method is I'm going to open a blank Excel and then import any kind of file into my blank Excel. Why do I do that? Okay, because of this, maybe in condition where we are not owning the database. The database doesn't belong to us, it belongs to somebody else. He or she did not allow you to edit anything in this database. He or she only allow you to connect to this kind of database. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to import data, or how am I going to import tables into this Power Query. Okay, but before that, let me check where do I save this file. Okay, in this document. Okay, good. So now, if I go to data and I go to get data, because I know that data came from Excel. So I go to my from file and I go to from Excel workbook. I choose that. Okay, from there, I go to my document and try to find files that I want to import. So I'm going to import this, what we call as BHP data, and then just import it. And now that data can be imported. Guys, one good advice for you. If you look at my data here, okay, this is my OneDrive. Okay, I store my data in OneDrive in a folder named document. This is the file. Where's my file? Okay, no, this one. Okay, this is the file. Okay, you see, this data stored online. That means I can share this data with somebody else. I can share that Excel with somebody else. He also can access the data, and I also can access the data. Okay, understand? So when we do that, everybody can use this data together. So we don't need data version 1, data version 2, data version 3. When 7 people use the data until 7 version, guys, you can save your data in cloud. And from cloud, you can call it back into your Power Query. Okay, I import this data, and now guys, the interface will look a little bit different for us. Okay, so if you look at here, this is, when you see this symbol, it shows a table. These are tables, and these are sheets. Sheets, sheets, sheets. Okay, the reason why I asked you to create a table, because if you look at here, in this data, okay, I know this is about database. You just imagine here, this table, I name it as database 2019. Now I know the data is about database 2019. And they say, if I choose this one, how do I know what is inside this table? Okay, how do I know? I will never know. Okay, let's say if I go to this one, oh, I also don't know what's this. Okay, but maybe I want to use this. This one is a table. If you compare to any other type in here, okay. So the best part, the good practice is always, okay, remember this, always use a table in your data. You know why? Because logical speaking, in a sheet, you can have multiple table, correct? In a sheet, you can have multiple tables, but can you have can you have one data in multiple sheet? Cannot. Okay, so if you have one table, one data, and it looks nice. In this case, I'm choosing this table. Okay, what if I forget to rename this table? What should I do? Don't worry. Don't worry. But you need to do it like You need to do it lah. You need to do it slowly lah. Okay, you have to rename everything. Okay, so once I choose this one, on down here we have load, transform, and cancel. Okay, if you choose load, in load here, okay, that means you will bypass your Power Query. Okay, my advice always goes to transform. Okay, always goes to transform. If you choose load, you will bypass your Power Query. Does that mean I cannot go back to my Power Query? Yes, you may, but it will load to your Excel first, and then it goes to Power Query. So my advice is always go to transform data, because we cannot trust data that we have. Some of the data need to be cleaned up first. In this case, I choose only one table. If you want to choose multiple tables, go to select multiple tables. Here you can choose multiple tables. You can import multiple tables all at one time. In my case, I only wanted to have this table. Even though I know this table have lots of null, don't worry. Here also, oh yeah, sorry, this one also I got lots of null. So what else are null there? I prefer table. I choose transform data. Now this data will be sent to your Power Query. Okay, good things about Power Query is you can always check the health, the profile of your data. Okay, before we check the profile of data, okay, let's check here. Nizam, I forget to rename table. Can I rename the table? Yes, you may rename the table. It is here. You can rename the table in here. Okay, so if you want to rename the table, let's say I rename this table as maybe staff list, maybe. Okay, I just rename it as staff list. Enter. You see your table name now change. Okay, your table names now change. But you see lots of null in here. In Excel, you can click and drag to fill down. In Power Query, you cannot click and drag to fill down. What you can do, you only able to select. Okay, I select 1, 2, 3, 4 columns that have null, because I want to fill up account representative. I want to fill up down here. What I do, I go to transform. I just choose fill down, done. You don't need to drag one by one. If in Excel, you need to drag one by one, or you need to use formula, you need to press Ctrl Shift Enter to fill the data. So this is very fast. This is very fast. Okay. One more thing, if you look at this higher date, you see this higher date, it should be a date, but it becomes a number. If I change here, I change this to date. It changed that format to date. I change the annual salary. I change it to make it as currency. Where's my currency? Currency. So that's my currency. Guys, don't worry. Okay, some of us maybe worry too much. You know why? Because we want to make this data center lah. Okay, I want to change. I want to put RM in front. Guys, this is Power Query. You don't have to worry about the appearance. You don't have to worry about the appearance of your data. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. You just let it be like that, because we are not analyzing from here. We are not presenting our data in here. If you want to present your data, we will only present it in our Excel. Goes back to Excel. If you use Power Query in Power BI, you will present it back in your Power BI. We are not presenting our data in here. Okay, don't try to present your data in here. It will make you have more headache. You got headache. Okay, so now let's say this is my staff list. Okay, you see I got male and female. Okay, I got male and female in here. Okay, good. Right, guys. Good things about Power Query. Oh, forget here. Before we do anything, okay, you see, can you see there's a small blue or green mask or turquoise color there? Actually, it shows you information about your columns. All right, in this case, it shows that only 2 data is valid, which is 5%. There's no error, but you have around 95% of empty data. Okay, you have 95% of empty data. 95% is very big. That's why when you fill down your data, it becomes clear. The turquoise becomes better. Okay, it's good. Give me a second. Okay, sorry. Okay, tak apalah eh. Okay, nanti lah. Let's leave. Okay, all right. So this was very good lah. Nice. Okay, good. Nice, guys. When I say about presenting, we are not going to present in here. Oh, definitely. So where to present? Okay. For the first time, when you use your Power Query, do not directly close it. You go to your file. Okay. You, if possible, choose close and load to. Okay, now it will ask you where you want to load your file. My advice, do not load into a table. The best practice that I always do is I always load only create connection. And I always add this data to data model. Why? Because this is Power Pivot. Okay, we are sending that file to Power Pivot. Okay, the best practice is you turn on your only create connection and add this data to data model. You click OK, it will load your table in here. Okay, and on your right side, it will show list of data that you have loaded. That's the link. Okay, why do I tell you not to load your data into a table? Because of this. Imagine in Excel we have around 1 million rows of data. Okay, only 1 million rows of data. If you combine your database in your Power Query and it reach up to 2 million rows of data, and if you load it into your Excel table, it will make your Excel fail. Okay, the best practice, do not load. Okay, guys, have to understand Power Query able to handle more than 1 million. Excel only 1 million. Okay, Excel only able to handle only 1 million. Power Query more than 1 million, which makes Power Query more powerful. Even though Power Query is that powerful, it still need Excel. It still need Excel to live. Okay, all right, guys. So that's what I show you. Okay, I hope you understand that. Okay, I hope it can help you to understand. Importing data, there are two methods. The first method, directly from the data source from Excel. The second method is by using your Power Query. Using your blank Excel and then import it into your Power Query. Now, guys, I want to show you another method of importing data into this Power Query, and I'm going to use the same Excel in here. Remember, your Power Query that you have created just now is actually on the right side here. And if you want to try to open back your Power Query, you only need to go to this list. Okay, all right. You can right click. You can go to edit. It will open your Power Query, or you just hover your file, your mouse on top of this file. Then you can go to edit. Here also you're able to bring your Power Query back. Or you go to data, you go to get data, you go to launch Power Query Editor. It will launch your Power Query Editor. Ha 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 ha. Okay. All right, good. Now, I'm going to import different type of data into my Power Query. All right, so how to import it like this? Okay. Here, I got one data in a folder, and that data, I save it in Excel, XLSX. And this data is not that much lah, just sikit saja. Very small numbers of data. Okay, load. Okay, I open this one. Okay, see the data. I only have a little bit of data, and yeah, this data can work with small data and also can work with big data. Okay, remember, I store this data in a folder and the format is XLSX. Okay, I want to import data from a folder, just now from file. Okay, from file, which file, that is Excel. Now I want to import from a folder. Okay, so I have to find the folder. Where do I put the folder? I forget where I put the folder. I think in my here, data source, here. Okay, 04 is my first data folder. So what I do is go to open, pump, and now automatically it will show you this. Guys, that's why I tell you, you always have to transform. Transform first. I choose transform. Now we will open my Power Query. Okay, so this is my Power Query. All right, in this case, you need to be careful a little bit. Okay, in this case, you cannot see the content of that file. You only can see binary content, the name of the file, the extension of the file, that access, that modify, date created, okay, attribute, folder path, yada, yada, yada. Okay, in my case, I only wanted to keep content, name, and also extension. Why? So that I know, oh, that file format is XLSX and that file name is 2017. Guys, remember, if you see this symbol, that means there's something, there's a content in this file. So what I do, I just right click, remove the other column. So that's it. So how to open the content of this data, of this file? Okay, what you need to do, you go to add column and we need to write a little bit of M code. In Power Query, we have M code. Okay, you go to add column. Okay, here add column, and then you go to custom column. Oh, sorry, add column, custom column. Okay, when you go to custom column, so here you will add new data, new file, new column, sorry. So the column name, maybe I type it as data. But what is the formula? Okay, remember, because we are extracting data from Excel in a folder, you try to type Excel. Okay, you see, it will suggest to you Excel and there is Excel workbook. If you are using Microsoft Office 2016 and your Power Query will not suggest to you M language here. You have to know what you are choosing. Okay, you cannot find any suggestion like what I have here. Okay, because I store my data in Excel workbook, so I choose Excel workbook. Okay, remember, M language is very sensitive. You know why? Because M stands for male. Male is very sensitive, if you agree with me. So now I put a square, I put a bracket, so that comes with an argument, that we can see from this argument. Okay, we know that content have content, name only have name, extension have nothing. Your binary, that's a content. You choose a content, and then close the bracket. You see? Everything should be okay. I just click OK, pump, but nothing show. Okay, nothing shows here. Guys, can you see there's a column name table, data? Can you see there's an expand button there? You click on that expand button. Okay, so in this case, let's say I want to expand only the data and the name. I click OK. Okay, so this is the name of the file, which is 2017. This is the data. And you see, there's another expand button. You click on that expanded button. Okay, those are your column that you have in your table. You click OK. So now this is your data. Okay, this is the name. This is the name of the file. This is the extension. Okay, that's why I tell you. If you ask me, hey Nizam, if I only want to take the content only, can ah? Yes, you may. Pun tak salah. Oh, I want to take only that content. I don't want the call name and extension. It's okay. Yes, you may. No problem. You see? Oh, so what happened to this column? We don't use this column anymore. You can just simply remove it. No problem. Because we know that this is the header. We can always use first row as a header. But Nizam, this is wrong. Don't worry. You can always rename. Rename it as maybe file name. Done. This is how we import from a table. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, here again, that's the first table. So, oh, what if? So now the question is, what if we have another file in the same table? In this table, in this folder, we only have one file. What if I have another file in this table? Yeah, what if? I close this one first, keep the changes, because previously I choose not to load. So if you choose load, it will load like this lah. Okay, so what if in this folder, in this 04 folder, I add another file. This is just a copy. Okay, so what happened? Right, this is my Power Query. I try to refresh it. Guys, if you look at here, it will load the new file. What you need to do is just open this. Okay, so this is your Power Query. I know that here we got some error, here error and error. Very simple. Power Query, remove empty. Sorry, salah pula. Here, I think we can delete. Oh, it's okay. I just sort first lah. Oh, sorry. How to remove this one? This one need to be removed. Sorry. Let me figure out first. I think we can remove. Ya lah, boleh remove rows, remove error. Then just close. Keep it not only updated in here, but in your table that you created, updated. So every time there's a new submission, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. It will run the same step again and again and again and again. Isn't it nice? It's nice. But what if I delete this file? If I delete, it means I don't want to use that anymore. So in my Power Query, I try to refresh it. It removes. As simple as ABC. Okay, what if this time I have multiple file in the folder, but remember that file is CSV. The file is CSV. Can I just drag this file and then put it in my 04? The answer is cannot, because they are not having the same file name. So they are not having the same file format. I'm so sorry about that. So what I do, go to here, again, data, get data, not from file, but from folder. Guys, I choose this folder. Remember, there are two files in here. Open it. Okay, remember the steps. Just let it. Okay, now we have two. You don't combine. I don't want to combine because I don't want any fancy thing on my pyramids on the left side there. So just transform the data from and guys, this time we will have two rows of data. In this content, I believe you already understand. The only important part is content here. Name, extension, that access not important for me right now, but if it's important for you, you can choose that. In this case, for this content, I just right click and remove other column. done because I only want this. So what I do, go to add date, add column. Remember, I will do it slowly. Maybe you want to record or you want to type. You want to jot down. I go to add column. Then I go to custom column. Okay, in this custom column, all right, I will rename the column as data. You can rename any name you want. It doesn't matter. Okay, guys, if this time should I choose Excel? If I choose Excel workbook, it cannot work because your file just now is in CSV format. So you need to call for CSV. There, CSV.document. Oh, Nizam, what if PDF? PDF. There, PDF tables. Oh, Nizam, what if inside the table we have what normally CSV? Oh, text. Here we got text format. I think from binary good, but not good lah. But okay lah, no problem. Okay, what if you have other format? Yes, you may. If you have JSON, guys, there, JSON document. All right. So mean in that folder, you can have, my advice is one folder, one format. Okay. If one folder is Excel, another folder is CSV. You don't combine them together. It cannot work because we find the data one by one, okay, by column. I don't know column, but by type. So in this case, I choose CSV. CSV document, same bracket, source, content, close the bracket. Okay, and then just click OK. There's a new column there, which is table. Expand button. Click on expand button. Which column you want? I want all the columns. Just click OK. But when you are using CSV, the option is quite simple. When you use Excel, the option is quite many because it will ask for created lah, file type lah, this and that lah. In this case, I just choose OK. And guys, these are the data. You see there's a revenue there. There's a revenue here and there. Okay. Yeah, you can always just do this lah. Use first row as a header. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, not this one. Yeah, I done already. Okay, sorry. This is the header. Sorry, I just wrongly. But you want to remove this, right? The best way you can do is just sort it. So this is on the last one. Remove row, remove bottom row, only one row. Click OK. There you go. Oh, hey, Nizam, I need to know the file name. Guys, you want to know the file name? You go to your remove other column here. Okay, you choose the name. It will show you the name. When you go back to your last action, it will bring out the name. Oh, this one? How? You just remove it. Guys, as simple as that. Okay, we got a few minutes more. Okay, wow, time passed very fast. Okay, guys, if I have this kind of data, let me check. I think I have one that I can show you also. Not this one. I'm so sorry about this. I think this one. Huh. Oh, okay. Like this one. Okay. Oh, sorry. This one I still not opening it. Okay, I just do this one first. Okay. Guys, I want to show you something. Another one. Okay. This is my data. I have around 3 years of COVID PPE data. And in these 3 years, we have data 2019, okay, data 2020, 19, 2020, 2021. So these are the data that I already have in my Excel. Okay, if I import directly this data into my Excel, yeah, definitely the data will become same like what we have done previously. But if I save this data in different Excel, like this one, okay, let's say I will save this data in different Excel like this. We have around 5 minutes more. Okay, here I will right click, move or copy. Okay, and then create a copy, new book. Okay, so here I will save it as in my desktop. Okay, I save it as this one is what? Okay, I just as file one. Sorry. Okay, just new folder, new folder, new folder. I save it file one, save. Okay, and then this is my file number two. And I will save it as file number two. Give me a second. Okay, new folder. This will become my file two. Okay, close it. So this will be my another one. Move for copy, new book, create a copy, and then okay, this will be my file three. Oh, sorry, I tak save. Save as folder this PC in my desktop, in my new folder, file number three. Now, guys, so I got this. Okay, so if I want to import all of that three file into one Excel in here, okay, the best practice is, if you ask me, best practice, you better rename this table. Okay, let's say this one. You better rename this table by the correspond file type. Maybe this is 2016, is okay. It doesn't matter about that. Later you can do that. Okay. Okay, because we are out of time now. I go to data again, get data from folder again. One more time. I go to desktop, and in my new folder here, I click open. Okay, standard in this open. I got three files and three different records in here. Okay, I will transform it first. Remember, transform first, and don't worry about the condition, the position, etc. Everything. Don't worry about anything. Okay, so now what you need to do, this is your file name. Okay, you can choose your file name there. Okay, record, etc. I choose two things, right click, remove other column. Nice. So now add column, add new custom column. From my custom column, I will add column name as data. Okay, here, Excel workbook, because all of that data saved in Excel workbook, bracket, content, bracket. Okay. So now that's the table. Click on this expand button. Guys, here you can choose name, data, item, kind, hidden, etc. Okay. So in this case, I try to choose all to see what is happening. Okay. Okay. You see, these are all the data that you see. Okay, these are all the information. That means the data, the item. Okay, see, this is the item that I want. Data kind, data hidden, etc. etc. So for this one, I will extract all. Okay, I got column one, column two. I don't know what's happening here. I just import everything. Pump. Guys, so this is the data that you imported just now. And you see, got number here. Do I got any error in here? But it's okay. So later we can change we can edit. So later we can edit. So if you want to edit this, you can edit this in our Power Query. So here where you can combine those three columns all together. Nice, huh? So that's why when you want to use your Power Query, you have to understand what is the purpose of you are using Power Query. The purpose of using Power Query is to make sure that your data clean and clean, squeaky clean. Okay, guys, I left you with this question in your mind. What if I have data that looks like this? What if I have data where's my data? Alamak. Okay. Oh no, it's here. Okay, what if I have data that looks like this? CSV is normal. Text. What if I have data that looks like this? Text. Or my data that looks like this XML format. Can I import this data in Excel? Into Excel? No. Into Power Query? Yes. You may import this XML format into your Power Query. You don't have to be afraid of your data. As long as the data is a structured data, yes, you may do whatever you want. Because the process, I tell you, it doesn't matter what sort of data you are using right now. The process is the same, is still the same. Connect, and then it will bring you to a window. Choose from that window, it brings back here. I just need another 1 minute from you. What if I get data, this time from XML, and this XML, I choose XML source, import. You see, you saw XML just now, and you see what your Power Query done to your XML. It will put it in table. Then you can transform. Whatever you do, it will always brings you back to here. Okay, I hope this session benefits you. Do you have any question? I'm very pleased to answer. Okay, let me stop the share first. Okay, guys, yeah. If you got any question, you can ask. Okay, you can always ask me, or else I will pass my mic to Mr. Adib. Any question, guys? Okay, if no question, okay. Thank you, Mr. Daniel, for joining us. Selamat menunaikan solat Jumaat. Okay, Adib, I pass my mic to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nizam. All right, thank you, Mr. Nizam, for the excellent presentation. Since there are no questions from the participants, okay, we move to the certificates. Regarding your certificates, we are pleased to inform you that your attendance has been recorded and your course status will be marked as completed after this session. You will receive your e-certificate through the NTW portal upon successful completion of the TEE assessment. The certificate can be generated from the applied course section of your individual profile. As for the video recording of this session, it will be available on our YouTube channel at Cell Academy Malaysia by next week. Now, let me inform you about our upcoming training sessions. If you are interested in enrolling in one of these courses, please contact us. We have Microsoft Excel basic level by Mr. Nizam himself, Microsoft Excel intermediate and advanced level, Microsoft Excel data analytics and visualization, Microsoft Power BI data analysis and dashboard reporting, Microsoft Power Query data cleansing and processing, Digital Marketing Masterclass, Digital Marketing Professional, Social Media Marketing, ChatGPT and AI Tool Mastery, CapCut for Video Marketing, Canva Design Bootcamp. All right. Thank you all for your participation and have a great day. Once again, thank you, Mr. Nizam.